Welcome to the Ordinary Guy Garage. I'm Scott, just an ordinary guy. And today we're gonna do some, today I'm gonna catch you guys up on drag racing a little bit. Got a couple of clips I can do. And we're gonna do some tinkering on the S10, get it ready for next weekend. So hang tight. Well, Bean's had a really good season so far. He's in first place, which is good, which is really good. Of course, there's three dragsters racing, three junior dragsters racing, but still, he's won the last two races in a row. And he didn't, not typically, but a lot of times what you see in what I see in the juniors that race is there's a lot of mistakes that happen because they're kids. And I make a lot of mistakes and I'm a grown man, but anyways, you see that a lot in junior dragsters, a lot more. But these last two races, these two races that he's won, the last two races, he won them drag racing, which was really good, really good. I was really proud of him. So the motor, we had it rebuilt or freshened up, but they replaced a lot of parts in it. It's a Blockzilla, which is an old style, not an obsolete motor, but I sent it back to Huddleston Performance. He went through it, got it all dialed in, and the first few races, it was kind of like all over the place. And the engine, I guess the engine was breaking in, because now it is like bam, 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 it is hitting the number. And he's doing really well, so I'm really proud of him. So I will put in a video of the junior right here. You can see that it sounds good, it's running good, and we're real happy with it. So now, as far as the S10 goes, I swapped out I had pulled the engine out and had it dyno tuned, and that was in one of my last videos on the S10. Made 626 horsepower, but I got it all back in. And one of the reasons why I pulled it out was because I bought a Power Glide with the trans brake in it, and I sent my converter out, or one of my converters I sent out to have it rebuilt on the inside and changed to a 5000 converter. So the last race that we went to, I got two passes in. My first one, I'm just all over the place trying to figure it out, and it was an 11:01, and I'm like, ooh, gross, 11 seconds, after I struggled to get to 11 seconds just last season. But then my next pass, I went out and it ran a 1060. So I was really pleased with that. And on that 1060 run, and I think I should get more out of it. But out of that 1060 run, I got back to the pit and I'm like, man, this thing is hot, and realized that the wire had unplugged from the water pump, so it was hot. It was pretty hot. So I know it's got more in it because it was hot when I got back to the pits. So more in it as far as how fast it'll go. The other thing is it threw off the alternator belt, which is not a big deal with the electric water pump, but pump was off anyway. So I got to replace that. The other thing that it's been doing, and this has been kind of driving me crazy, and hopefully we're going to fix it right now. When I first put this carburetor on, my AFR gauge was reading, when it was idling, 17, which is pegged, which is super lean and pegged to the lean side. And I'm playing with it and trying to get it to adjust and get it to come around. I was able to get it a little bit. And when I went down, and then after I had pulled it out and took it to the dyno, he had told me, he goes, man, this thing was way out of adjustment. I think it's in my video. You could hear him saying that it was out of adjustment. And so we got it all dynoed it, tuned it, you know, got it all back where it was supposed to be, put it in the truck, and it's still not reading very well. And I'm like, well, it's idling. I'll just leave it alone. It doesn't, if it's running a little bit lean at idle, that's not a big deal. It's top end of the track you're looking out for. So, and the top end of the track, it was kind of high too. And I'm like, God, I can't figure this out. And then I got it back to the pit, or no, my last run, that 10-second, or the 1060 run, it ran at 10.0 on the top end, super rich. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then I got it back to the pits, had shut the truck off, and then I shut it up again, shut it on again, turned it on again, and it was flatlined. And it's not reading anything. And I checked all the connections, and everything seems to be fine. So man, these things are expensive. But I ordered a new oxygen sensor. I hate just throwing parts at it, but you know, in order to test these things, you got to shut the engine on and off and warm it up and run it for a certain, and that for a certain amount of time, and that doesn't really work very well with a race car. So, $125 for this thing. I feel like it's an autometer thing, but I feel like I could probably find this a lot cheaper without that, and without that. I think I could find this a lot cheaper if it's not in an autometer box, you know. I don't know. So anyways, we're gonna put this on, and then of course I'm gonna put another fan belt on. So really quickly before we dig into that, I'm gonna go ahead and put a video, or post the video of that 1060 run. So here we go. You could see by my reaction time, I'm getting used to the button. I mounted it up on the dashboard, and I'll go over that in another video, but I'm getting used to the button, and I've only made 2 passes with it, so it's gonna take a little bit of time for me to figure that out. But you can see when the truck leaves, it leaves real straight, you know, like somebody had posted on one of my videos or a comment saying that there was no drama with the way it launched, and you know, I put an anti-roll bar in the back and a spool, and man, it's straight, leaves straight. It doesn't do a big wheelie or none of that kind of stuff. It just goes. So I can't remember. I think it was a 152 60 foot, and you would think maybe it would do a little bit more, but keeping in mind I have a 169 first gear in this Power Glide, so it's a little bit higher gear, which seems to work okay. If I can get consistent runs with it, man, that's how you win races. So not doing big wheelies isn't going to get you winning races, but a consistent run will. So anyways, let's get started on this other stuff. First thing we're going to do is the fan belt. I guess it's not a fan belt anymore. It's a alternator belt. Oh, that's a 1/2 inch down there. Alrighty. All right, simple enough. Oxygen sensor, I have it on, this is the driver's side header. Have it down here in the bottom in the collector. So here's the plug for it. That just clips up, snaps on, snaps off, comes off. I had it zip tied up in there. Now, let's see if this wrench will fit. Oh, it does. Well, that's a pretty good deal. If the only thing I have to do is swap a couple of minor deals, you know, a belt and a oxygen sensor, and then I'm ready to race. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that after all the work I've put into this thing. I'm glad I don't have to tear a bunch of something out. So anyways, yeah, our last race, my wife usually comes down and helps, and she was unable to be there at the first part of the race. So towards the end, she came down and helped with a little bit with the video and stuff. So I didn't get a lot of coverage of that one. The next race is this coming weekend. It's been a few weeks where there hasn't been any races unless I want to go out of town, and I got too much other stuff going on right now to do any of that. Plus the motorhome's in the shop right now, so we're kind of stranded, I guess. But this coming weekend, there's a Saturday race and a Sunday race both. So we're going to have 2 full days of racing. So I'm going to try to get some good video of Bean and myself out there racing, and maybe a couple random shots of the track or whatever. I don't know. We'll see how it all rolls out. But that's going to be about it for this. Thank you for watching again and again and again. Thank you. I appreciate it. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't. You know, what you got to lose except for, 5 or 10 minutes, 15 minutes of your life by watching me fumble through stuff. And make sure you like and give me a comment. Let me know what you think. And until next time, I will see you later.